Okay, YouTubers, I'm gonna do something I usually don't like to do. Usually I like to keep my videos in progression, but I'm gonna do something different this time. I think the last video I put up, I was in Marquette. I am now in the northwest angle in Minnesota, which is a long ways away from there. It's really cool. There's gonna be a video all about the northwest angle, but it's a really neat place. You leave Minnesota, drive through Canada to go back into Minnesota. It's up in the Lake of the Woods area. But why I'm making this video is sometimes along your travels you have problems. And I got way up here in the middle of nowhere and I had problems. As I was driving along, I heard some squeaking and I thought it was just the belts. I stopped a couple times and I didn't think anything more than the belts. Once I got up here, I got some clips that I'm going to try to put in. But after examining, I got underneath it and it was the water pump. It was spraying out of the water pump. And the bearing in the fan was about to go and was about to get really bad. So I drove up here. I arrived on a Thursday. Friday morning, I was tired from driving. Really rough roads. You'll see all the videos. There's so much videos in between this and the rest. So I got up Friday and I started messing with it in the morning. Got under there, figured out it was the water pump. Everything I knew was the water pump. And I went to the office here at the campground and said, help, I got a problem, I need somebody. And they went and got this guy Jordan, who's the local fix-it. And I mean, seriously, we're in the middle of nowhere. We're 50 miles back to real Minnesota in the middle of nowhere. And Jordan came and looked at it and said, yep, it's your water pump. And he said, let me see what I can do. He called around back down in real Minnesota, and somehow there was a place that had a water pump. Neither of us expected it. I thought I was in a lot of trouble. I thought I was going to be like waiting a week or two because it was bad enough I couldn't drive. So that was Friday. Saturday he drove the 50 miles and picked it up, and Sunday we installed it. It did not go easily. It put up a fight. Alright, YouTubers, I'm in the northwest angle and I'm working on the RV. I had the belt squeaking and I checked my radiator fluid and it was fine, but I'm smelling that sweet smell of maple syrup, which usually means it's your radiator or your heater core. But I'm seeing, I got under it already and I saw some radiator fluid on the fan housing, so I gotta find where it's coming from. But again, the engine didn't get hot and I'm pretty much full, so I don't know. Let's see if I can figure out. In my reserve tank is not empty. I could use some more, but it's not empty. Alright, now we figure. I'm hoping those rough roads in Wisconsin just got something a little loose, hopefully. Because again, it did not get hot, but it's going to be a bitch to get under there and find it. But we'll see. Again, I know enough to be dangerous. Okay, that hose seems good. Hose right there seems good. It seems on. You know, and it's hard to tell because the fan's, blowing stuff up. So I gotta check to see what's up top and see what I saw on this camera that I couldn't see with my eyes. Ugh. I don't think it's hoses. I think it might be the water pump or the thermostat. It doesn't look like the thermostat. I don't see anything there, but it could be the water pump. And it might just be a tiny bit, because I didn't check my reservoir before, but it's not totally empty. And the RV wasn't getting hot at all. Well, YouTubers, I'm not sure, but I think it's my water pump. I'm pretty sure I started it up and spraying coolant down under there. Pretty sure it's the water pump. I can't see it coming from any hoses. I guess I'm one of those that always assumes that squeaks are belts, but it can also be the bearing on the fan.
YouTuber, so a local guy came here and looked at it and see my fan. You probably can't see, but my fan is wiggling, and that's not a good thing. So he's gonna check prices and see what he can do to help me out. Seems honest, seems capable, and I think I will be up here in the northwest angle until Cousin Eddie gets fixed. Again, it's good to have people that know, because that fan moving, if that bearing on that blade goes bad and tears shit up. So now we just gotta hope he can fix my water pump.
So Sunday came around and he got the part and we did the install. And while I was there, this guy came with this thing, pretty cool.
He's in there getting fixed. A guy drove up in a Arctic Cat. Oh, he said it's for sale. If you want an Arctic Cat, or a Sprite version of an Arctic Cat, 10 grand, it's yours. I said I don't really need one in Ohio. Isn't that pretty badass? That's pretty badass. Right. Distract me from hoping it all goes well. Old Chris Craft. I always really liked these. All wooden. If I had money, I'd get something old school like that. But you'd have to fix it up. It needs some work. These are beautiful boats though. Alright YouTube, as a new water pump is in, it was not easy. The local dude, who's like a fix-everything kind of dude, had never worked on a Dodge before. And the water pumps on these, if you have a Dodge Ram 3500 van, RV type thing, the water pumps is not as easy as you would think. He had to fabricate a tool in order to get the fan off. I don't think you can see. We did it twice. I helped a little bit, but down here there's this tube that you can't see. This tube right here is for the hot water for the heater, and it just kind of sits in there. It's got an O-ring on it, and then you bolt a clamp to the mount, but it kind of sits in there. So when we got the first one put all together, it started leaking really good, and we thought it was coming from the bolt, so we took it all off and re-scraped the gasket. I did a lot of scraping myself, and we got it good and clean. Then we think it's just that. Where that is, it's just a bizarre.
Because it leaked again until we got it seated better.
Right there, where, let's see. You can't see. I can't show you.
Even without the engine running, it came out with a lot of pressure.
So it's all fixed, hopefully. But it made me stay another day. Here's an extra O-ring. I should put that in my pocket. That could come in handy. But he did a good job. So if you ever get up to the northwest angle and you have some problems, Jordan, he'll help you out. It did take us all day long. Alright, it's running now. It all seems good. No leaking anywhere. If you can see that tube running right down there, it's really a bizarre setup. You just push it in there with an O-ring. There's no real fitting to keep it in place. So at first we thought it was leaking from one of the bolts, that the seal wasn't good, the gasket wasn't good, but on further thought he thinks it might have just been from there. But at least the gasket is on there nice. It had a nice clean surface when I got done scraping. So, yay.
So when we finally got the new one all done like this, it was dark. So I drove back to the campground. So the next morning I got up, double checked everything. There was no dripping. Ran it for a bit, still nothing. I took it on a drive to explore a little bit, about 15, 18 miles maybe of driving, and I think we're good. I think I ended up staying an extra day because it was so late when we got done, and I wanted to test it good before taking off, because I got a lot of nothing to drive through to get back to somewhere. So the moral of the story is, I would say I did 90 to 95% good of staying calm, because when something breaks, it's bad. You're obviously not happy about when something breaks, but I realized it could have been so much worse, because that was squeaking all day, off and on, sometimes worse, sometimes not as bad. And when those bearings go, they go, and you are done moving usually. You know, if a water pump just fails, you can heat up and put new stuff in, but when that bearing goes, it gets really bad, from everything I'm told. So I was very fortunate. I was not in the middle of nowhere. I was at a campground. The animals were fine. They were in the RV for 9 hours or so while we worked on this. That's how long it took. He had a couple other jobs come along, but so I think I did really well at staying calm, because that's the first thing you have to do. You know, is you have to stay calm. It's not the end of the world. Don't start crying and throwing shit everywhere. Just stay calm. Now, when we had to do it twice, you know, I admit I was starting to get a little bit antsy because I'm like 1,000 miles from home up here. But I think again, the moral of the whole story is, when you're in your RV, this is the first thing I've had happen where I'm a long ways away from home, and knowing I knew pretty much what was going on, not right off the bat, but I figured it out on my own, but also knowing it's above my pay grade, you know what I mean? It's above my experience. And then learning that he actually had to fabricate a tool just to get the thing off, I'd have been screwed in the middle of nowhere. So relax, stay calm, and everything works out. And hope to see you back from Ohio soon as I traverse my way back. And now we'll go back to videos of stuff I already did a long time ago. But you'll know you're going to get to see the angle eventually, which is a really cool place. Have a great and wonderful day.